Good morning, dear students. I am glad to see you again. And in today's lesson, we are going to talk about the topic of education. And also, in the last part of our lesson, we are going to include how to write CV and professional profile. So let's move to our plan. First of all, we are going to talk about some nouns and verbs to talk about education. And then we are going to move to the next part. It's writing CV. I'm going to answer the question, what is a CV and how to write it? And at the last part of our lesson, we are going to talk about how to write a CV and the parts of CV.
Okay, let's start getting to know these education institutions. Throughout our life, we meet a lot of education institutions. Probably the first one is kindergarten. Kindergarten is preschool education. Then we move to primary school, then secondary school. When we graduate from secondary school, we choose college or higher education, and they are called future education or university education and also tertiary education. And you are right now in higher education system. And when we graduate from higher education, we can choose postgraduate school. It's a university for students studying beyond degree level. I mean PhD or master's degree. Let's start useful verbs, nouns for university life. We have a lot of verbs and nouns to describe our university life. And the first one is to graduate from a university. It means to complete a degree course or to finish university. And the next one is to enroll on a degree course. And it means to put your name down for a degree course. And the next one, to major in employment law. You can choose employment law or family law to describe your major. And it means to choose employment law as your main subject at university. And the next word is to attend a lecture. And it means to go to listen to a speaker at university, often with large audience in a lecture theater. The room dedicated to lectures is called lecture theater. And the next one, to attend a tutorial. It means to go to a meeting with professor, usually in a small group held in his or her office. And the next one is to deliver a lecture. It means to give a talk or presentation. Let's continue. To read the history. It means to study history. And the next one is to do or to complete coursework. It means doing project work or assignments as part of your course. And the next one, undergraduate. Undergraduate is like you, someone currently doing their first degree. And graduate. Graduate means someone who has completed a degree course. And the next one is keeping up with the workload. And it means being able to maintain the level of studying required. And the last word is fall behind with studies. And it means to fail to keep pace with the school or university work. Let's move to useful vocabulary for education. The first word is literate. And literate means to be able to read and write. And the antonym of literate is illiterate, and it means unable to write and read. And the literacy rate means the percentage of people in a country or region able to read and write. And the next word is comprehensive education. Comprehensive education means well-rounded, broad education covering a variety of subjects. And the next word is scholarship. Scholarship is an award for the students who are doing well or higher achievers. And we have a lot of scholarship named after prominent people. For example, the presidential scholarship or scholarship for let's say Alisher Navoi and other. And the next word is student loan. Student loan is money taken by a student to pay for their tuition fee, and usually students get the loan from the bank. And the next word is pay off a student loan. It means to repay money borrowed from university education. And intensive course which runs over a short period of time but contains a lot of information and training. And the next one is play truancy or truant, and it means not attending school or university or being absent from university or school without permission. And the next word is gap year. Gap year means to take a year out between high school and university. Okay, let's move to the next part of our presentation. This part is called CV writing. So the first question is, what is a CV? And CV is abbreviation for curriculum vitae, and it's a short written description of your education, qualifications, previous job, and sometimes also your personal interest that you send to an employer when you are trying to get a job. And sometimes in the United States it's called resume. And how it look like, and it's just a piece of paper. It usually contain 2 pages or 1 page about your education, employment, and also it contains your personal profile. And it looks like this one. Okay, let's talk about the parts of a CV. And there are about 5 parts in a CV. The first one is identification, and the next one is education or qualifications, and the next one is work experience or professional experience, and the next one is hobbies, interests, and also you can include additional information or other skills. So it has about 5 parts. And let's talk about identification. In the identification part, you should include name, surname, date of birth, and your local address, and also you should include your email address and also contact numbers. And the next part is personal profile or your skills. In the personal profile part, you should include your skills, especially the positive skills. For example, you can be a good listener or great team worker. If you have positive qualities, you should mention it in the personal profile part. The next part is education part or qualifications. In the education part, you should include your qualification and educational background. For example, when you have graduated the university, what was your major when you graduated? What was your mark? And so on. And the next part is professional experience. In this part, you should mention your work experience. First of all, you should write the name of company that you worked for. And then you should write the name of the job that you did or doing. And the next part is interest and hobbies. At the end of your CV, you should also include your interests and hobbies. For example, if you're interested in sports or let's say photography, you should mention it in the last part of your CV. And the next one is additional information. Additional information, maybe your driving license or your computer skills or the language you speak. And when your CV is ready, there is a question. What will you do with your CV? Of course, you will apply for a job. And when you are applying for a job, there are a lot of people who applied the same job that you choose. And there is a question, how the employer will choose your CV? Of course, if you have outstanding CV, the employer will choose yours. Your CV should be outstanding and better than others. So the employer will choose your CV and will ask you to come to the job interview.
And dear students, it was the end of our lesson. I hope you find this information very useful. Thank you. See you.